need to spend time in a calorie surplus in order to put on muscle. But you're probably asking yourself, well, how long? Well, the answer to that is it really just depends. And I kind of broke it down for you by how long you've been lifting. I think that's the best way to go about it. So let's say for a newbie, someone who's just starting out, who's just starting to work out, anywhere between just starting to work out to up to 2 years of working out, you're considered a newbie. How long should you be in a calorie surplus for? The answer to that is 1 to 2 years. That's right. You're going to be spending that amount of time building your foundation to your body. Because if you start out really small at 130 pounds and you start out right away dieting because you want to look ripped, like you see these guys on social media, you're going to be like 120 pounds ripped. That's not impressive at all. You need to lay down the foundation to your physique so you actually have muscle to unveil when you diet down. So you need to spend that time in a calorie surplus. Let's look at someone like Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger spent the age of, I think it was 14, he started working out all the way up to 20, laying down that foundation to physique. Now, he dieted in between that time, but he spent a lot of time in a calorie surplus. Yes, he used steroids, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't change the principle of being in a calorie surplus in order to put on muscle mass. So you need to do the same. Spend the golden years of your training, which is the beginning phase, in a calorie surplus. So you can put on a lot of muscle quickly and at the same time, probably even change your body composition and lose a little body fat at the same time. So you need to spend that time, 1 to 2 years, in a calorie surplus straight. Don't try to be ripped, just focus on building the foundation. Now, let's move on to intermediates. Someone who's been working out for about 2 years, probably up until about 4-year point. How long should you be in a calorie surplus for? The answer is 8 months to around a year, every year. Yep, because again, you can still put on a considerable amount of muscle at this stage, but you also need to continuously build the foundation and build upon what you did in your newbie phase. Now, what about for advanced people, someone who's been training for 4 years plus? Well, for you guys, again, same rule applies. I would say a good 8 months, but with a little bit of an asterisk here, because as you get more advanced, you put on less muscle tissue. And I'll explain that in a second. But you got to remember that longer bulks radically change your physique. Every time I've gone through a longer bulk, my physique has changed every single time. And you're able to put on muscle in the areas that you need to in order to fill out your frame. I am currently in month 7 of my bulk, and I'm consuming about 5,000 calories every day. And believe me, it's a job. And I've been training for over 20 years, and I still do this because this is what radically changes your body every time you diet down. Okay? Now, what's the asterisk for in advanced? Well, again, like I said, when you're in advanced stages, you put on less muscle. And when you do this, you need to kind of bulk and cut. You need to go through a couple of months where it's like, okay, maybe like 2 months of bulking and then maybe like 2 weeks of dieting just to pull away a little bit of that body fat that you gain to ensure that the gains that you're gaining when you're in a more advanced stage are leaner. Okay, because we want them to be more muscle, less fat. And also, because you've been doing this for a longer period of time at this point, if you bulk straight for all that time, you become insulin resistant because you're just laying down more and more body fat. So you need to kind of refresh your insulin receptors on your muscle sites to get them a little bit more excited to suck up the nutrients. So that's a little more for advanced, and that's the asterisk for advanced. So again, you could sprinkle that in however. Like I do that, but for this bulk that I'm currently on, I haven't done it because I really want to radically change the way I look. So I don't mind putting down a little bit more body fat this time because when I diet down, that body fat will be gone and the muscle will stay. All right, but there's one phase that's so important to all this that a lot of people neglect and no one really talks about because it's not sexy. Immediately after a bulk, you never, and you're going to want to, believe me, because I've done it, you're going to want to diet right away because you can't take how you look. The last big bulk that I did was a couple of years ago, and the heaviest I ever got was 215, and I hated the way I looked. I was like, oh my God, I feel so uncomfortable. I feel like I've laid down too much body fat. But the problem was I stopped bulking. I said, I hit my mark where I wanted to go. And I said, okay, I got to diet right away because I can't stand this. All that muscle tissue that I put on at that last phase of it, gone.
You waste your time.
Gone. So what you need to do is you need to spend 4 to 6 weeks just maintaining your new weight. So that's in addition to the time that I told you about before. Because if you spend 4 to 6 weeks maintaining that weight, that new peak level that you got to, it will stick a little bit longer. That muscle will be held onto. But again, if you just go from bulk to cut, that muscle that you just put on is going to go away. You got to let your body kind of reset and level off. So you need to spend time doing that. I'm curious also, what's the longest that you've bulked for? Because I see a lot of people, they don't even bulk at all. Spend 4 weeks bulking and then they're dieting again. Like, you can't do that. So what's the longest you bulk for? Let me know in the comments below. And because you made it this far into the video, I have a free gift for you. I have a free 6-week training program that I want to give you. No strings attached. I just want to help you to build muscle. All right. So click the link below, pick up that program. This was Anthony, EB Fitness. I'll catch you on the next one.